Trinity issue 6, Francis Manapul writing and Emanuela Lupacino on art. This ended the first arc, so Mongol in the dream, I say dream, dream world, yeah, that works.
No, it is a dream world.
Yes.
It's White Mercy.
I doubted myself, but yeah, no, it is a dream world. So basically, Mongo's taking control of like Clark, and then White Mercy convinces the others to take
Bruce.
control of Bruce.
I love how they each had a part to play, and it wasn't, and they all made sense because of course Mongol would go after Superman, being the most powerful being, and then White Mercy appeals to Bruce's, that's what I'm looking for, like the fact that he wants to take care of everybody, like when, what's that called? Is it empathy? It's not quite empathy, but compassion, I guess. And so, she has Bruce trust her to take over and shelter the body over. And then Wonder Woman has her part to play in the dream world because she can differentiate truth. Like, it's part of her. Yeah. Like, she has a sixth sense for it. So each piece of it plays right into the other. And we get this really cool Batman-Superman exchange in the real world. And as each of them disappear, that leaves Wonder Woman with their dream states in the dream world. So she has to take care of them, so that's why she stays. And the whole stuff with Poison Ivy in White Mercy I thought was really well too, because it played into her need, like she wants to have offspring for this world. She plays another integral part.
I loved all the Ivy stuff, especially.
Well, Ivy and Lois and John all play off of each other really well. Because I like that right now in Rebirth, Ivy's not a out and out villain. So, her and Lois can team up, and even John, blasts. I think he blasts Clark, or
the barn
they get
door.
thrown from the barn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's almost a shame for me that she lost her memory. It's like I knew it had to be coming as soon as stuff started happening.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, it has to, but I kind of don't want it to, because I'd really like her to have this knowledge and go around with that.
It happened through the green, so there's always a chance she can uncover it.
That's true.
Down the road, and everything is undone. The thing that did bother me a little bit is Bruce wearing the kryptonite necklace to a peaceful dinner in Smallville.
well, to be fair, we know this is early in the Rebirth continuity,
That's
right?
true.
Like compared to other.
So he didn't trust him quite.
He hasn't built up.
Yeah, because remember the whole point of this
right.
dinner is that they don't really know each other yet, and Lois has sort of convinced Clark to invite them. So no, I was cool with the kryptonite thing, especially
I spaced on that.
Especially to Lois's reaction to the kryptonite thing. He's like, Bruce brought kryptonite. Imagine.
Yeah. I think this is just to refer back to Batman very briefly, where I said my issue was there because that's where their relationship would be after Reborn. This is quite early in their relationship, so I buy it here.
I spaced on that I forgot. For 6 months now we've been reading. That, and it feels like it's progressed, but it really hasn't, because it's all just been one night.
Because we've seen it progress everywhere else.
Yeah, exactly. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
but it's great. And then we find out at the end that White Mercy exists. She made it out in plant form. So I look forward to seeing where that goes.
Yeah, she's a creepy little bitch creeping about the cornfield.
Just kind of hiding. You don't want, Mongol, because Mongol's not gone.
It's like the aliens and signs, hiding in the cornfield, peeking out. That's what it's like.
She reminds me of, in Pax Action Comics stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the one.
I love that story.
On the name. Yeah, thanks. It reminds me of him.
Yeah. And I love that you can have this too, because Superman does have that menagerie in the fortress of solo animals that are like him. They're the last of their kind, and he wants to give them. And I kind of look forward to seeing White Mercy reach out again, because she knows she can trust all three of them. So she could show up in one of the Batman books. She could show up in Superman, or she could show up in Wonder Woman later. And
it's a nice solid seed to have planted there.
Yeah,
very good. Nice pun there.
That wasn't intentional. I caught it as I started saying it, and I was like, no, I'm going to commit to it.
While I prefer Manapul's art, You can't go wrong with Lupacino either.
Lupacino's fantastic. I was just going to
Yeah.
bring that up. And my favorite panel is where Wonder Woman, where she breaks out and you can just see her in her armor in the mirror.
Yes.
Actually,
Fantastic panel.
panel I really like is when Wonder Woman's carrying both Batman and Superman in the
Yep.
dream. Like they're both being controlled outside, so they're
Yep.
just kind of like unconscious in the dream, and she's carrying both of them. And that's pretty cool. As far as this whole first arc goes, I do have to admit that I mean, I enjoyed the whole thing, but I do think that the first like 2 issues were the strongest, and I don't
Yeah.
think it's quite lived up to those first 2 to the same extent.
Honestly, I think this one did, but the previous couple haven't.
Oh, because this is the resolution.
Yeah.
But then again, I loved each of the for what they were. Like if they were just one shots, right? Of Clark and Pa Kent, and then Bruce and Gotham as a kid, and then Wonder Woman on Themyscira. I like what each of those issues did, but playing into the overall story kind of put the brakes on. They were
It
kind
was
of
actually
coasting.
Joe. It was kind of like the complaint Connor had about the event Justice League v Suicide Squad. I kind of felt that way about this with Mongol,
Yeah.
and how he popped up so late in
Out
the
of nowhere.
game, and then
See, it was like halfway through.
Kind of. We started to when we saw the Black Mercy in Ivy at the end of the second issue.
Oh, you're right. There was 2, 3, and 4. So we had
Yeah.
2 issues with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So I knew where Pete's
But we
coming
got
from.
Mongol at the end of 4.
4.
they revealed
Right.
them at the end of 4, and then we had them in issue 5 and 6.
The
But
origin of White, the origin of White Mercy was 5, and then this was all the resolution, where
Yeah.
all the pieces come together pretty well.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah, that's
because for the first like 4 issues, you never get a sense that there is this, because you think it's just Ivy. You think it's just Ivy and Mercy doing something, and then all of a sudden you've got Mongol. And, that's kind of cool, but I don't know. I think maybe if I go back and reread it, there'll be more teases.
Maybe
of
there
him
is something
throughout,
that we
yeah.
didn't catch because we weren't looking for them. But no, I do think there's a fair
I
play.
still, this is not one where I'm like upset and I felt like I wasted time reading it.
Oh no,
So,
not at all. It's just
Yeah.
it's just not the. Like sometimes when you guys talk about Trinity, you're like, "Oh, it's my favorite week of the month because Trinity's out." I'm just kind of like,
Yeah.
"No, it's solid. I really
I
like
think
it."
I
but
typically
it's-
feel that because it has usually my favorite art of the month.
with
Even when it's
Manapul.
not Manapul, like
Yeah.
Lupacino, who else have we had? Man's and killing it.
Yeah.
And it's always just,
just-
a beautiful book to
When the
read.
first 2 issues came out, it felt like a keystone series because it had all 3. It felt like something big was going on. And then it kind of just feels, not that it's filler, but
feels
it's just
smaller.
another story.
Yeah, it just feels
Yeah.
kind of another arc. Yeah.
It does,
And that's
and I think
fine.
I'm more okay with that because it's like, well,
Yeah.
that means Manapul has more freedom to kind of tell these smaller
But
stories.
do you know what the
I
thing
think.
is though? Is I almost kind of wish it was just like an entire arc, like the night they came home over for dinner. Maybe not 6 issues, but like a 3-issue thing where it's just
Yeah.
that night of them being over and like almost I don't know if you guys have ever seen like Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, those movies, where it's just this
It's
couple,
conversation.
yeah, just falling in love in real time over like an hour and a half.
Do you know what you do?
Uh?
Is you do 3 issues. You have each of them tell a story.
There you go, yeah, during
As a way
dinner,
of bonding.
yeah.
That's like my favorite Batman animated story or animated series episode is I Almost Got Him.
It's the
Where
villains.
each of the villains
Yeah.
telling their stories, and
It-
the Croc, I threw a rock at him, and they're like, and that's it. It was a big rock.
I think there was just a point for me, like around issue 3, where I realised, oh wait, it's just going to be mostly dream stuff until the arc ends, and it was like,
Yeah.
okay. I kind of like, I really loved that first issue of them
I
bonding
get
in a
that,
more normal
but
sense.
I think the thing for me is they still did bond a lot in the dream, and I think
Yeah.
this does a lot to establish their relationship going forward.
Yeah, and Mercy even says that when she says that by putting them all through these, she felt what each of them felt, and then each of them felt it too. So they all end up on
And
the
it-
same page.
Oh,
by the
that's a
end.
good. I mean, it's worth mentioning. The reason why Mercy even helps them at all at the end is because she felt what they all feel. Like she only knew what Mongol feels and thinks before then,
Right.
so it was all hate. It was all conquering and blah blah
Right.
blah blah. Whereas she felt, the honor, the compassion, all that stuff from these 3
The
heroes. Yeah, the joy, all that stuff.
Joy from Superman, loyalty from Wonder Woman, and the strength of Batman.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that they give strength to the guy with no super strength.
Well, yeah, but it's
Makes it
not
seem
physical
bigger.
strength, is it?
Yeah,
no,
it's
no,
not-
but it makes it seem more important,
yeah.
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. And I also really like to talk about how they bond. Why Mercy talks about Batman's trusting issues, and that's why he keeps Wonder Woman around. And he says, "Oh, Batman, you've got to like trust me to take over." And I feel like that's another part where he's learned to trust this new Clark, and why maybe he won't have the kryptonite necklace next time he comes around for dinner.
Right.
And that's an important step on this friendship.
But he'll always keep it somewhere in the cave, just in case, red kryptonite
Yeah,
or
but
mind
Clark's
control.
okay with that.
Oh, it should be. Well, that's Clark is, because he's been through all this.
Exactly.
They brought that
Clark
up in
knows
Justice
he's like-
League last time.
Exactly. He's okay with that, and that what makes it all right.
Well, I guess that's Trinity. Obviously, we have 2 issues with Bunn before we get back to Manapul.
Honestly, if it wasn't on a if these weeks ended up being quite busy, I'd skip those issues. If that was on a week 2, I wouldn't bother.
Fair.